Welcome back, Guardians. My name is Samlab, and today I would like to propose a question, if I may. What is the light in the darkness? To make sense of this question, have a listen to this short verse from the book of Genesis titled, "The Beginning." Thus it reads, "And God said, Let there be light, and there was light. God saw that the light was good, and he separated the light from the darkness. God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And there was evening, and there was morning, the first day." Confused? Let me explain. In the Vow of Disciple raid, we encounter a new life form, one that has never been seen before, named the Caretaker, a creature of pure machination, fused together, a hodgepodge of hive and scorn melding, humming and singing in perfect harmony. Who is the Caretaker? To put it simply, he is the cryptarch of the pyramid. His job is to do exactly what his moniker suggests, to serve, care, and support the running of whatever experiments or important knowledge and information that Rog, the disciple, has placed within his pyramid. I myself recently ventured into the bowels of the sunken pyramid in Savathun's throne world, and encountered said Caretaker, and towards the end of his demise, I noticed strange tendrils, or a tree, if you will, growing out of the Caretaker. And this got me thinking, where had I seen this before? And like a vision, it hit me. The tree of silver wings. By now you may have seen a video I did recently discussing the tree of silver wings and their relevance to the current season of Destiny. This brings me to the second half of my theory, the light in the darkness, hope in chaos. Since the release of Season of the Risen, new lore entries have appeared that provide more information to the battle between the light and dark. Have a listen then to this lore entry from the book Shattered Suns, titled Lamented. Thus it reads,
"Should I have died? And yet, was there in the darkness of the abyss that you became truly alive? I lie amongst swamp and rock and ruin. The abyss is not unending after all. The wrathful sounds of unchecked nature draw close. Down here it is dark, and in the dark they thrive. I am broken, and now you are unbroken. I am unbroken. I see your luster, disarming the beasts who dared to approach, their flesh melting in your presence. And we see yours. I rise, broken and then unbroken. What is this thing that grants life? We are opportunity, and I am ruin. And what am I meant to be? And what am I meant to do? Ruin. Your voice subsides, but your luster remains. It is a familiar one, like that of an umbral sun. Ralk's bane lies nearby, broken in two. You mend it with your luster. It is whole again, but even more so than before, as if imbued with the wrath of vengeful gods. Miles above, I see the axis that sits between our brilliant city of Lugray and our shadowed wildlands. By now my clan must be inside the city. I pocket your luster before the thrust of my glaive into the sheer wall that separates me from my vengeance. I lift myself, with one hand gripping the slate, then another thrust of the glaive, raising me ever closer towards my goal. Now, no more chances, no more wavering, no more weakness.
So, what is this luster they speak of? Is this perhaps the key to understanding the truth within the lies? Come then, let us dig a little further. Have a listen to this lore entry from the exotic sparrow titled Gouging Light. Thus it reads: In the moment his sparrow crashed, there was no time to react, to brace, to think. There was, however, an instant for him to feel, an unbearable brief eternity, when everything in Marco's world was pain, nothing else existed, just the simple, sharp agony that made up his whole universe. And just as quickly it was gone, stillness. The sound of a motorized whine returned to him first, ringing in opposition to the pulsing ache in his head. Slowly, his eyes adjusted, and he glimpsed the unbearable brightness of the Martian sun. Slowly, and all too quickly, pain returned to smother all else. The sparrow beside him smoked, reactor shielding intact, but only just. He eyed the long gouge in the ground, where the bike had bottomed out and scraped its way across the ruddy landscape, where it had rolled over his. He looked down at what was still attached of the leg, broken, twisted. Meat. Bile caught in his throat, and he choked it down before realizing the mangled limb was the only corner of his flesh free from pain. The sun roils. White beyond white plums lick worlds. Hope births agony, births stillness. Strained electro-matriarchic music still spurted through the sparrow speakers. Marco struggled to inhale, and a flutter in his chest hinted at the punctured lung. Punctured. His ragged breath caught, and he looked for the sample containers packed so carefully and cautiously by the guardians who'd survived the raid on the Throne World Pyramid. His gaze fell on a container, 6010, lying cracked against a spar of basalt. Yawning plasma, thick embrace, light gouging light, only warm shadows. Black veins snaked through the red dust, through the wreckage. Hand-delved glory strips pain from those too weak to savor. The wound through the soil, and where flesh met dirt, had already traced into his twisted limb. The sparrow's carriage throbbed like a heart, and Marco could feel the hymnal rhythms in his leg. Worlds burned free, sweet, still ash. Visions crowded his mind, spilling into his mouth, and lungs threatened to drown him in bliss. His shattered leg turned and popped, and righted itself, and euphoria filtered through him where pain should be. Deep, still, safe embrace. He dragged his sidearm from its holster, gasping as he took careful aim at the cracked reactor shielding. so soft and still. His mind tore free, and in an unbearable brief eternity, he gulped one final breath. Lie still. What remained of Marco squeezed the trigger. Ah, and so here the answer may be revealed. What if I told you that the light and the dark were hewn, cut, from the very same rock, and there is no difference in totality? So let's break this down a little bit. What is luster? The definition, according to the Oxford Dictionary, of the word luster is a glow of reflected light, sheen, specifically, the appearance of surface of a mineral dependent upon its reflecting qualities, the luster of polished metal, a glow of light from within, luminosity, the luster of stars. How then can the dark have reflected light if there is no light to begin with? Like the tree of silver wings, there is potential for both light and dark, good or bad, if you prefer. My thoughts are this, and this is purely speculation, but it is possible that light and dark are just two opposites of the same coin. The dark attempts to heal, but must allow some level of light to gain access to healing properties. Or is it a metaphor? I'll let you decide. For now, that's all I have for you. Hopefully, you found this video useful and easy to understand. If you did, be sure to comment below and give this video a like, and also consider subscribing and click the bell notification to find out when my next video goes live. Remember that no matter what you're facing at this moment in time, you can do all things. Stay safe and Godspeed.